What's up everyone, Carter says now, welcome back to another video, and today we'll have my review of New Japan Pro Wrestling's Dominion 2023 show. And what a great show this was. Just quickly on before I get into it, I did originally plan on doing a predictions video for this show, but I just never got around to actually doing it and recording, so yeah, but I will still get my reactions and my review out, because this was a massive show, a lot of good stuff on it. With a lot of surprises, kind of setting up stuff for Forbidden Door as well in a couple of weeks' time. So yeah, a big show. New Japan killing it once again. I feel like I've said this a lot this year, but New Japan are back. It feels like, I didn't like do any videos on the Best of Super Juniors tournament, but that was a fantastic tournament. I'll get into a bit more details when we get down to the Junior Heavyweight Championship match. Of course, Wrestle Kingdom this year killed it. New Japan Cup was good. So yeah, a lot of good stuff for New Japan this year. It does feel like they're getting back to where they were pre-pandemic, and that levels of consistency in good shows. This was another one of those. So let's get into it. Will Ospreay kicks things off with a win over Lance Archer in the United States Championship #1 contendership tournament, which sets up Kenny Omega versus Will Ospreay 2 at Forbidden Door. Will Ospreay cuts a promo after the match, basically saying he'll go to Canada, he'll take Kenny Omega and the whole nation of Canada on if he has to. He is going to win that championship back from Omega. And I feel like this could go one or two ways. It could go, Omega getting the win, or it could go Ospreay getting the win. Well, obviously. But I feel like it could either go, Omega gets a definitive win and puts an end to this series, or Ospreay maybe wins it, ties it up at one apiece, and we get the rematch at All in Wembley. Because that way you'd have neutral ground for match #1 at Wrestle Kingdom in the Tokyo Dome. Match #2, Kenny's home turf in Canada. Match #3, Ospreay's on home turf in London. So I feel like maybe that's just me wanting to see that, because I will be at All In, and I would love to see Omega versus Ospreay, and maybe that's just kind of hopeful booking. But I feel like a lot of people are thinking along the same lines. Let's just hope Tony Khan and Gedo are thinking along these lines as well. But yeah, it will be an interesting matchup, and it will be interesting to see, does Omega actually lose at Forbidden Door? And of course, it could always play into where, like, Takeshita or Don Callis costume, and it's not really clean, which also gives another reason for a third match down the line. So yeah, it is interesting to see what direction they take that. Then we had a multi-man match. Let me just quickly pull up the participants, because it was Los Ingobernables de Japón taking on just 5 guys. It was Bushi, Shingo Takagi, Tetsuya Naito, and Titan representing LIJ, and it was Doki, Taichi, Taka Michinoku, and Yoshinobu Kanemaru representing just 5 guys. Of course, LIJ pick up the win here, as you probably would expect, with Titan making Taka tap out and getting the win for Los Ingobernables de Japón. Titan, he's been very impressive in the Best of Super Juniors, picking up the win here. Feels like New Japan are starting to focus on building up the junior division a bit. For a long time, it was just Taiji Ishimori, and Desperado. It literally felt like they were just the only 3 guys in the division. They were trading the belt back and forth. Of course, you have Yo in there. You have Show as well, even though I love the Show, apart from Punky 3K, but since he's been in House of Torch, I feel like they could be doing a lot more. But that's another story for a different day, You have Master Wato again, who we'll get onto a bit later on. You have Titan, of course. You had Leo Rush. You had Speedball in the Best Super Juniors tournament. I'd like to see him back. So it feels like they're slowly building that junior division up a bit more. And Titan getting the win over Taka. And speaking of the junior division, we're moving on to the Junior Tag Team Championship. Again, another division they seem to be focusing on building up a bit. Like I mentioned, you only really had Roppongi 3K before they broke up, but they've been broken up at least a year, 2, maybe even 2 years now. And then you'd kind of Kanemaru and like Desperado representing uh, Suzuki-gun. I just drawing a blank there. Um, and yeah, so it is good to see a couple more teams here, which we had in Catch 2-2, defeating the Jet Setters to regain the Junior Tag Team Championships. Of course, Akira and TJP, former Tag Team Champs, lost the belts to Jet Setters, getting the belts back here over Kushida and Kevin Knight. Post-match, Angle sets up the next challengers for Catch 2-2 as Clark Connors, representing the Bullet Club, makes his way down to the ring, and while TJP and Akira are distracted by Clark, Dan Maloney attacks Catch 2-2 from behind and joins the Bullet Club, of course, turning on the United Empire. This is surprising. I thought Dan Maloney was a good fit for United Empire, of course. I've seen a lot of him in like Rev Pro. I've seen him a couple times here in OTT. I'm a big fan of Dan Maloney. Happy to see him getting spotting the best of Super Juniors this year and absolutely kill it. And it looks like he's going to be sticking around New Japan. They have plans for him here, joining the Bullet Club. Yeah, I thought he's a good fit in United Empire. Kind of surprised they had him turn and join Bullet Club, but I feel like he'll be a good fit for Bullet Club and what Bullet Club's going to be going forward, which again we'll get into a bit more details later on. So yeah, again, focus again, more bodies in the junior division, more junior division tags. I feel like it's been needed for a while, so not really going to complain there. Good match as well between Jet Setters and Catch 2-2. A lot of fun in that one. Zack Sabre Jr. then retains the TV Championship over Jeff Cobb, and it was again another good defense there for Zack Sabre Jr. And the finish to this match was pretty good. Jeff Cobb had him up for the tour of the islands, and Zack Sabre Jr. is able to reverse it and run through into a pin to get the 3 count and retain the belt there. Yeah, again another good defense for Zack. Cobb is awesome as well, and not much else to say other than the good match there. Bishamon beat the House of Tortures, Yujiro Takahashi and Evil, alongside the United Empire's Great Okan and Aaron Tanare, to regain the vacant IWGP and New Japan Strong Tag Team Championships, of course, after Aussie Open had to vacate due to Mark Davis' injury. Yeah, Bishamon, they are a good team. We've seen a lot of them kind of be the focus point of that tag team division for a bit in New Japan. Goto and Yoshihashi, very good team. I wasn't a big massive Yoshihashi fan before this, but this run in Bishamon has made me grow to appreciate Yoshihashi a lot more. Of course, I've always been a big fan of Hiroki Goto. I still want to see like a Goto have a good singles run someday, but I feel like that is in the past now. Yeah, and you know, we're getting this good tag team stuff with Bishamon. Like, as I said, I do like it. I just love Goto and want to see Goto get a bit of a singles run. But after the match, the Bullet Club War Dogs, we see the video play on the Tron, and we're like, who is it? And out come Gabriel Kidd and Alex Coughlin, 2 young lions, from the LA dojo. I know Gabe Kidd has done some stuff in the Japan dojo. So yeah, they're the newest members of Bullet Club. They tag Bishamon and again Coughlin and Kidd in Bullet Club. And again, and kind of another team then that we could have in that tag division that is kind of a bit light at the moment, of course, with Aussie Open injured. You have Bishamon, of course. You have the 2 other teams that were in here, even though Hinare and Khan I feel like haven't really been like an established team. I know Great Khan does a lot of single stuff, but yeah, again, I think Coughlin and Kidd could be good additions to Bullet Club, like I mentioned with Dan Maloney and Clark Connors. It seems like the Bullet Club are going in a certain direction, and I'm very intrigued. And we'll get into that in a moment. But before we get into that, I want to talk about the G1 lineup that was revealed this year for this year. I'm not going to break down all 31 competitors, I think it was 32 maybe, and I'm not going to break down all the competitors. You know, it's your usual suspects that you'd expect to be in it. You know, your Okadas, your Naito's, Tanahashi, Go-O, Ishii. Like, it's your usual suspects, but there were two kind of surprises. And one, Eddie Kingston, the Mad King, is going to be in the G1. I'm buzzing for that. Eddie in New Japan in the G1. It's going to be awesome. Eddie's going to absolutely kill it. Can't wait to see that. And Kaito Kiyomiya, kind of like the current ace of pro wrestling Noah. Of course, we've seen stuff with him and Kazuchika Okada earlier this year on the match they had, and of course the kind of infamous angle they did where it was like a Noah versus New Japan show. Kaito kicks Okada in the back and just kind of Okada there keeps the submission locked in, no selling it before eventually getting up and the two just brawl around ringside. That set up that singles match where Okada got the win in that one. So yeah, very intrigued to see Kiyomiya in the G1 this year. I'd hope he's in Okada's block so we can round that back. And yeah, again, Kingston, great to see him. Would love to see Kingston against the likes of Shingo Takagi, Tomohiro Ishii, Hiroki Goto. So yeah, a lot of good potential matchups that we can be getting in the G1 this year. Let's move back over to our Bullet Club talk as David Finlay retains the Never Openweight Championship over El Phantasmo. Of course, former Bullet Club member, was kicked out by David Finlay once Finlay took over. It is weird seeing babyface super over with the crowd El Phantasmo because we're so used to seeing that cocky dickhead heel El Phantasmo. But he is over, the crowd love him. And of course Finlay picks up the win to retain the belt, which is kind of needed. A very Bullet Club kind of heavy undercard where they were kind of building and setting up a lot of stuff with Bullet Club. Of course, I've mentioned 3 new members of Bullet Club already in this video. There is no more, but Finlay getting the win here. He had Clark Connors with him. He had Dan Maloney, Gabe Kidd, and so it was Alex Coughlin by his side as he came down to the ring, and they were in his corner for this match, which is intriguing. It's all the members Finlay has brought to Bullet Club. You know, no House of like Torture, no Kenta. I know Kenta was in America doing stuff with Defy, become the Defy champion, and Kenta, kind of sided with Finlay when they kicked out El Phantasmo. But yeah, it was interesting to see that it was all the new members that Finlay brought in that were there with him. And I am very interested to see the direction they go. I know a lot of people aren't really big on David Finlay as Bullet Club leader. I don't mind it because I remember when Jay White kind of like first took over, there was a bit of doubt around him. But I feel like Jay White had a bit more momentum behind him because he had that year in chaos. Whereas Finlay's just kind of been an undercard guy in New Japan for so long. So I understand where the doubt is coming from. But if you look at what Bullet Club was formed on, it was the foreign guys who felt like they were being underused and being held down in New Japan. That is where Bullet Club came from. That's where Prince Devitt, Carl Anderson, Tama Tonga, Balok Fale, the core 4, that is what Bullet Club was formed from. So it kind of makes sense for Finlay to kind of lead it in that way. It kind of makes sense to have Clark, Gabe, and Alex in there because they were young lions and in that young line system, and they haven't really had opportunities to break out or opportunities to shine, where maybe the likes of a Yota Tsuji, who just came back from Excursion main events to show Sho Umino, who came back, was a young lion on Excursion, and Ren Narita, you can argue maybe make the case for them for that. Maybe you could even argue that with Dan Maloney, saying he was brought in for the best of Super Juniors, but maybe he should have been in that tag team title match instead of Catch 2-2 getting that rematch. Maybe he feels slighted in that way. So I feel like it is an interesting direction they're going. It does kind of take things back to the roots of Bullet Club in a way. And another interesting way of looking at this is, I feel like the 5 guys that we seen here that came out with like the 4 guys on Finley, Dan, uh, Clark, Alex, and Gabe, and even David Finley himself. They're not big names. They're not like your AJ Styles, your Finn Balor, your Prince Devitt's, your Kenny Omegas. Who previously, people think of Bullet Club, they think of those guys. They're not like that star power, but they are guys I feel like have big potential and can be something. And maybe with the right booking, the right matches, they can rise up to that level and be main event players for New Japan. So yeah, I am interested in seeing the direction to go with this kind of new look Bullet Club. Hiromu Takahashi retains the IWGP Junior Heavyweight Championship over Master Wato, and Master Wato, another great showing. I haven't been the biggest fan of Master Wato. Let me just check something real quick. Since he came back from excursion as this Master Wato gimmick, what year was that? What year was that? That 21? Was that long ago? Yes. Wow. He's been back like 2 years already. It doesn't feel like it's been that long. Yeah, so he's been, back as this Master Wato gimmick for about 2 years now. And it hasn't really done that for me, hasn't really clicked for me. But I feel like this year, he has started to grow on me. I've started to become a big fan of him. His performance at Wrestle Kingdom, that junior heavyweight, or the junior championship, fell 4-way. He was very impressive in that match. His performance in the Best of Super Juniors finals against Titan, absolutely amazing. I didn't get a chance to talk about Best of Super Juniors, but that match was absolutely fantastic. And I kind of great performance for Master Wato, of course, winning Best of Super Juniors. And I honestly thought he was going to come in here and beat Hiromu and get that kind of like a bit of a mega push. I felt like that maybe the way they're going, he kind of surprise winning the Best of Super Juniors. I don't think many people had him winning beforehand. And yeah, he came here against Hiromu, thought he was going to get it done, but unfortunately he didn't. But Hiromu's awesome. Like, I'm not complaining that Hiromu retained. But yeah, again, another great performance from Master Wato. I feel like he's slowly starting to like build a bit of credit, kind of find himself, and he's starting to put out these great performances. Of course, the crowd in Japan have been fans of him for a while, but he's starting to connect with me a bit more, having these awesome matches. So yeah, I'm excited to see what the future holds for Master Wato. I hope he can continue putting on these great matches, continue delivering, and yeah, as I said, quickly becoming a big fan of his with his step. Like I've mentioned, like 3 big matches he's been in this year. He's stepped up and delivered in all of them. So excited to see what the future holds for him. I'm kind of excited to see what happens next and who steps up next for Hiromu. And the IWGP Junior Heavyweight Championship. In the next match, then we had Kazuchika Okada, Tomohiro Ishii, and Hiroshi Tanahashi defending the never open weight 6-man tag team championships against Shota Umino. I was looking at the wrong notes. Shota Umino, Claudio Castagnoli, and Jon Moxley. Of course, there's a bit of doubt around Claudio because he had flight delays, but he did end up making this match. Did have to be moved down in the card, though. This was swapped with Hiromu and Wato. That was originally meant to be the semi-main. Okada and Ishii. Okada gets to win first team, hitting a Rainmaker on Shota. And after the match, Jon Moxley says he has a surprise, plays a video, and it's Bryan Danielson, the American Dragon, challenging Kazuchika Okada to a match which I presume is going to be Forbidden Door. I have one line from this promo written out from Danielson that I feel like needs to be said. You call yourself the Rainmaker. Well, you step in the ring with me and you're in the desert. There ain't going to be no rain. And oh, what a line. I'm so hyped for this. Danielson Okada, literal dream match. two of the best ever, not just the best currently, two of the best ever. Can't wait to see these two lock up in the middle of a ring. It's going to be a banger. And Forbidden Door, if this is where that happens, Okada, Danielson, Omega, Ospreay. What a card that is going to be. Gato, Tony Khan cooking up a storm. That is going to be an all-timer show. And yeah, I know what I was going to do. I've talked about it in previous videos. Fantasy booking ideas for Forbidden Door. Well, we already have 2 matches on that card, so maybe I still do it. Maybe I'll push. Maybe I won't. We'll see. I might push it forward and do it this week and include these 2 matches because they are little fantasy dream matches that I'm blown away that we're going to get to see. Match itself was very good 6-man tag, very enjoyable. This one, you know, seeing Claudio in the ring with Okada, Ishii and Tanahashi trading blows was wild. He hit the big swing on Okada and then all 3 hit the Shield powerbomb onto him, which was awesome. You know, Mox and Ishii kind of picked up from, was it the G1 match they had a couple of years ago? Just thrown forearms. Of course, Shota Umino, once again, impressive performance from him. Tanahashi, the ace. Him locking up with Claudio was, again, great to see. And yeah, very good match. Big surprise at the end with Danielson challenging Okada. Cannot wait for that. And yeah, very good match. Then main event, Sonata retained over Yota Tsuji in a very good showing for Yota. His first match in Japan back from excursion. His last match in New Japan before that was Royal Quest last year, but of course that wasn't in Japan. That was in London. When was his last match in Japan? I know he's been working a lot for CMLL. That's his Royal Quest match. It was a 2021. So yeah, 2021, the last time he was working in Japan for New Japan. And he's put back straight in after his excursion into a title match. And there was a bit of people, there were like, a lot of people were like, is Gato going to actually put the belt on him? And I wouldn't have been surprised if he did. But he didn't. Sonata did retain. A very good showing for Yota Tsuji though. He was put in there with the champ, gave him a lot of time to shine, and he stepped up, delivered very good match. Showed what he can do. Definitely going to be a star for New Japan. Definitely someone that will be in that main event scene in the future, and someone that, like, the future this company could be built around. So yeah, great showing, very impressive from Yota Tsuji there. Of course, after the match, after Sonata gets the win, Yota's kind of selling on the outside, and we see Naito just walk past him, doesn't pick him up, doesn't, like, tells the young boys to leave him, tells the rest of LJ to leave him, which is kind of interesting. Is this going to play into Tsuji versus Naito? And of course, Yota has been announced as a member of Los Ingobernables de Japón, so yeah, already kind of teasing a bit of tension, but it is also kind of an LIJ thing to do there, not really a group that I was about to say, like, have each other's back, but that's not really the way it's going to say, like, not really a group that often second each other or, like, really do stuff like that. So maybe this is just Naito kind of welcoming Yota to the group, kind of making, you know, the young lion coming that just came back from excursion kind of earn his stripes in the group, maybe, as a way. Or maybe it is kind of like teasing maybe a future match, maybe for the leadership of, like, LIJ or something. Like, I don't know, we'll have to wait and see how that plays out. But yeah, overall, very good show. Sets up a lot of great things going forward for New Japan. As I said, very intrigued to see how this new direction of Bullet Club goes under David Finlay. Very excited for Forbidden Door now after what we've built to on this show. Excited to see how that continues then on Dynamite this week. So yeah, let me know what you thought if you watched it. New Japan Pro Wrestling's Dominion 2023 show. Let me know if you watched it, what you thought of it in the comment section below. Leave a like if you enjoyed this video. Subscribe if you haven't already, and I'll see you in the next one.